What is going on, you guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we are going to be covering 5 Spider-Man characters that I think deserve their own movie. But before we get into that, if you are new around here and love all types of Spider-Man content, including all the news from the movies, shows, and games to fanfictions where I continue lost stories, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and make sure to hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you don't miss another video and you can be notified as soon as I upload, as under 20% of you that watch these videos are actually subscribed. And with that being said, let's get straight into the video. Now, although very popular in Spider-Man media and with the fans, SpiderGwen eclipses the bottom of my list simply because she's had so much screen time already. She's made appearances in the Raimi trilogy, to the web movies, and even in Spider-Verse, where she made her debut as SpiderGwen herself. However, after the recent surge in the 21st century of SpiderGwen comics and the recent success of Spider-Verse related properties such as No Way Home, Into the Spider-Verse, and the massive Spider-Verse crossover event in the comics, SpiderGwen definitely deserves her time in the spotlight and deserves her own movie. Now, as to what the movie would be about, I'm not so sure. My first instinct was to have the movie be about how she loses Peter Parker in the same way Peter lost Gwen in his universe. In the comic books, Peter becomes the Lizard and ends up passing in Gwen's arms. This could be a cool story to adapt and would be something that we haven't seen before. Likewise, just as Gwen showed up in Miles' first solo outing, we could potentially see a cameo from Miles Morales, as these two versions of their respective characters have recently become closely acquainted. Number 4, SpiderGirl. SpiderGirl is a character that has been around for such a long time, and it is such a shame that nothing has ever came of her in live action, or even in an animated show. I think the main reason for this is because the showrunners and producers are obsessed with keeping Peter Parker young and in high school, which completely restricts narrative aspects that are accompanied by an older Peter Parker later down the line. One of these aspects in particular is SpiderGirl, also known as Mayday Parker, Peter Parker's and Mary Jane's daughter. I think it would be really cool to see a film dedicated to what happens 20 years down the line of Peter being Spider-Man and following Mayday Parker as she discovers her powers. There are plenty of really creative stories that can be told with this prospect. The idea of Peter and Mary Jane trying to keep Mayday's powers a secret from her so she doesn't do the dangerous things that Peter does, and then her finding out and it causing conflict within the Parker family, could be one of the many ways to do a story with SpiderGirl. It would be a film that would explore ideas not previously explored within Spider-Man media, and I would be all here for it. She deserves a movie as much as anyone else does, and that's exactly why she has a spot on my list. Number 3, Ben Reilly. Another Spider-Man character that has really flown under the radar is Ben Reilly. For such a popular character, you would think he would have appeared more often in Spider-Man media. With only one account being in the 90s cartoon, I haven't really seen him in anything since. The reason for his lack of inclusion in Spider-Man shows and movies is almost certainly down to the controversial Clone Saga story from the 90s, which almost ran the Spider-Man comic line into the ground with its poor reception and long, confusing stories which spanned years. Marvel in this period would continually prod the Clone Saga like a dead horse in a bid to get the fans to like it, but it just didn't happen. Unfortunately, there is no other option other than the multiverse really to introduce Ben Reilly, since his story heavily relies on him being a clone of Peter Parker, or at least very vividly resembling him. But that doesn't mean he shouldn't get a mention here. Reilly is one of the most interesting Spider-Man characters of recent times due to his relationship he has with Peter Parker. One part of the Clone Saga that really stood out to me was how Ben had to find a new meaning in life, since there can't be two Peter Parkers. And I think if a film were to do this and were to be made in this aspect, Ben's arc throughout the film would probably regard him finding peace within himself and trying to become different to his clone counterpart. Now, obviously, while this would also have to include Peter Parker, this wouldn't retract the main spotlight from Ben Reilly, as we would have the movie from his perspective. Number 2, Black Cat. This one is absolutely baffling to me, that we have never actually seen Black Cat in live action, nor in some sort of animated movie. Black Cat has had her fair share of the shows, but when it comes to the movies, out of 3 franchises of Spider-Man, not one of them shared the screen with Black Cat. Yes, Felicia Hardy was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but never as the cat burglar herself. A Black Cat film would be one of the many films that would actually work for Sony. Yeah, we have Morbius and we have Kraven and a bunch of other villain movies that Sony are currently working on, but one character that would really work here is Black Cat. The substance is there, the lore is there. The film could revolve around her father Walter Hardy, since he was the cat burglar before her, or the film could even revolve around both her and Spider-Man, or the film could also focus on a thief to hero story that has her make a choice to be a criminal or a hero by the end of the film. You could include characters like Kingpin, Hammerhead, Tombstone, or pretty much anyone from the Maggia crime family that Black Cat has worked with previously. I assume the police would play a big role, and what better way to maybe introduce someone like Jean DeWolf, or maybe even have Sin Eater as the villain of the film and adapt the death of Jean DeWolf's storyline with Black Cat as the hero. Or you could take a page out of PS4's book and give her a son, or someone she loves and cares about and has to protect. There are so many options to have a Black Cat film made, and there was originally going to be a Black Cat movie called Silver and Black about the story of Silver Sable and Black Cat. However, the movie late into pre-production was scrapped. I think it's time Black Cat got her own movie, and I would love to see one. So I really hope that at some point in the near future, whether it's in animation or whether it's live action, we get to see Black Cat on the big screen. Number 1. Spider-Man 2099. This film would absolutely slap. After Into the Spider-Verse and Miguel's appearance in the new Across the Spider-Verse movies, what better time to make a Spider-Man 2099 movie? I personally think animation would work best for this over the live action, which would provide for an amazing spectacle since we'd get to see Spider-Man swing through futuristic Blade Runner looking New York City, and it could potentially be in the style of Into the Spider-Verse. And if it would end up being the Oscar Isaac 2099 from Into and Across the Spider-Verse, then the villain is already there. Alchemax was introduced in Into the Spider-Verse and is also a big part of Spider-Man 2099's story. Alchemax is the company that Kingpin funds in Into the Spider-Verse, so just replace Kingpin with Tyler Stone and there you go, you have your villain. And plus it would be really cool to see futuristic versions of all the villains. One villain I'd love to see is the 2099 version of the Hobgoblin. He made an appearance in the Shattered Dimensions game, and I think he'd be really cool in a movie. There is just so much potential to be explored with a brand new story. Not to mention that it has an entirely new set of characters, and the story wouldn't have to be tied down to anything that affects Peter Parker. Because one of the main problems with a lot of these ideas is, where's Spider-Man? What happened to Peter? These are all questions that are always present in Spider-Man movies where Peter Parker isn't the main center of attention. Setting this far into the future takes out those restrictions because Miguel's story doesn't rely on any narrative aspects from Peter Parker. But with that being said, that is my 5th and final option for a Sony Spider-Man related movie. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Would you pick these 5 or would you pick more characters? I want to know what you guys think. Tell me in the comment section down below, what Spider-Man related characters would you make movies about? And why? With that being said, thank you all for watching. Make sure to hit that like button if you did enjoy this video, and also make sure to hit that subscribe button to not miss any more videos as soon as they come out on the channel. And if you don't want to miss them, then make sure to hit that notification bell so you can be notified as soon as they go up. Also, if you want great superhero inspired clothing that you can wear to the gym and casually out and about, even with your friends, I give you I Am a Superhero, who have clothing designs based on Spider-Man, Batman, and many more of your favorite superheroes. Click the link in the description if you are interested. On the left, you can see a video that has been personally chosen for you based off the videos that you enjoy already, and on the right, you can see my most recent upload. With that being said, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care and peace.